I call this meeting to order at 7:29 p.m. We will now move into section 2, swearing in. For senators who have not been sworn in yet, please stand. Please raise your right hand, and if you accept at the end, please respond with "I do." Do you hereby swear that you will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, fulfill all duties and responsibilities in the office in which you are about to enter, and to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University? Congratulations.
So for those two new senators in front of you, you have your written oath of office. If you can go ahead and sign that and then pass it down to the end, and I will come and pick that up. And congratulations.
Okay, thank you. We will now go into section 3, roll call. The clerk may read.
As I call your name, please say present. Senator Luna,
Present.
Senator Parker,
Present.
Senator Fouquet,
Present.
Senator Fan, Senator Otten,
Present.
Senator Beam,
Present.
Senator Tijuana,
Present.
Senator Souls,
Present.
Senator Lay,
Present.
Senator Martinez,
Present.
Senator Peng,
Present.
Senator Argumedo,
Present.
Senator Hinojosa,
Present.
Senator Thibodeau,
Present.
Senator Mallard,
Present.
Senator Brown,
Present.
Senator Casirosafar,
Present.
Senator Miller,
Present.
Senator McCarroll,
Present.
Senator Hansen,
Present.
Senator Timms,
Present.
Senator Beatty,
Present.
Senator Arteaga,
Present.
Senator Boyd,
Present.
Senator Haynes,
Present.
Senator Mongaravani,
Present.
Senator Marston,
Present.
Senator Marston,
Present.
Senator Lewis,
Present.
Senator Farwell.
Present.
I have a total of 29 senators present, a simple majority of 14.5, and a 2/3 majority of 19.
Thank you. We will now go into section 4, messages from the student body president, and we will go to President Wong.
Good evening, all. I would like to do something a little bit different this time. So I would like to recognize and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month at Wichita State University. Whereas Hispanic Heritage Month, also known as Latine Heritage Month, is a month-long celebration in the United States from September 15th to October 15th, acknowledging the vibrant cultures, histories, and independence days of Latin American countries. And whereas Hispanic Heritage Month recognizes the past, inspires the future, and honors the over 60 million individuals in the United States and the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico who identify as Hispanic and/or Latine, who keep their culture alive. And whereas Wichita State University is an emerging Hispanic serving institution with 18.9% of the student body identifying as Hispanic and/or Latine, translating to 1,780 individual students. And whereas the Hispanic American Leadership Organization, HALO, is an agency of the Student Government Association who serves Hispanic and/or Latine identifying students, as well as overseeing registered student and Greek organizations such as SHEP, Leading Hispanics in STEM, Kappa Delta Chi Sorority Incorporated, Paraguayan Student Association, Omega Delta Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Corazon Latina, and Sigma Lambda Beta Fraternity Incorporated. And whereas Halo hosts a variety of cultural and educational events throughout the year for students, faculty, staff, and the community members, such as Nuestra Cultura, in collaboration with Student Belonging Coalition to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month at WSU, as well as Si Se Puede, a month-long conference empowering the next generation of Hispanic and/or Latin high school students by providing them with resources, knowledge, and inspiration needed to pursue higher education and career success. Now, therefore, I, Jiawen Wang, the Wichita State University Student Body President, do hereby proclaim that the Student Government Association recognizes the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th, 2025 through October 15th, 2025, and the Student Government Association recognizes Hispanic American Leadership Organization for their contributions to student, faculty, staff, and surrounding Wichita community. I also want to recognize Agency President Lorena Favela for her contributions to writing this proclamation. I urge all members of the association to join me in this observation. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Vice President Nguyen.
Hi, everyone. So I'll just provide a quick update regarding Finance Commission. So the Commission has reviewed a series of individual and organizational funding requests submitted by students and student organizations. The allocation was based on SGA funding policies and eligibility. For individual funding, the Commission has reviewed 14 applications. The Commission approved funding for AMUN training for $396.27 and another AMUN training request for $396.27. IEEE HPEC for $280, Informs for $1,154, a second IEEE HPEC request for $280, two separate North American Power Symposium requests for $624 and $600. We 25 for $1,422.90. The Future of Social Sciences Conference for $973.83. Afrotech for $1,270. An additional North American Power Symposium request for $600. Another Afrotech request for $1,500. And a second Informs request for $1,299. These recommendations support students attending conferences and competitions that promote academic achievement, leadership development, and professional growth. For organizational funding, we reviewed 6 applications. The Commission recommends funding NEPSA WSU for $1,200, Wichita State ASCA for $640, the Mission for $690, BMES for $0 for one event. However, we funded BMES for $900 for operational support and Women in Consulting for $100. These recommendations reflect each organization's alignment with SGA policy. The Commission will begin reporting weekly on budget expenditures from the individual and organizational funding accounts.
Thank you. Before we move into Section 5, 3-minute floor speeches, it is our pleasure to welcome back Emeritus Student Body President from the 57th and 58th sessions, Mr. Joseph Shepard. But with that, we will now move into Section 5, 3-minute floor speeches. In lieu of senators using public forum as a mechanism to address the Senate, a senator may seek recognition to give a speech on a subject of their choice, not exceeding 3 minutes in duration. 3-minute speeches are focused on specific topics. Senators may only hold the floor once during this period. Are there any senators that wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, we will now go into Section 6, Public Forum. Public forum provides a chance for individuals to have the privilege of speaking before the Senate limited to 3 minutes only. This is the time for the Senate to listen to what the community has to say, and to that we offer our undivided respect and attention. I would like to remind everyone that, although we allow the speakers the privilege to use this platform, the opinions of the speakers do not reflect the opinions of the association. We will now go to Lily Arts.
Hello, everyone. I'm coming at you all not as my position of director, but just as a student. I'm advertising the Empty Bowls Chili Cook-Off that's going to happen this Saturday from 11 to 1 in Woolsey Hall. It's a great event. There'll be a bunch of chili there from, I believe, 20 different restaurants. And for $15, if you're a student, you can make a donation to Empty Bowls, which one of their things that they sponsor is actually the Shocker Support Locker, so that's awesome too. And you will get a one-of-a-kind handmade bowl and a bowl full of chili. So it's a great event, and I hope you all come out. The QR code on there should go to where you can get your tickets, and you can also get your tickets at the door, but make sure you bring your student ID, because if you get the $15 ticket, you'll have to show that at the door. But yeah, I hope to see you all there.
Thank you. Are you standing for questions?
Yes.
Are there any questions for our speaker? Seeing none, thank you. Are there any other individuals who wish to speak in public forum at this time? Seeing none, we will now move into Section 7, Introductions to Report, and we will now move into 7.1, Report from the Executive Branch.
Okay, hello again. Okay, from the student body president, President Wayne attended the Heritage Gala and met with David Miller to discuss the renaming of the Shocker Support Locker to the Kaya Duggan Shocker Support Locker. She and Vice President Wen are also meeting with SAC soon to discuss Higher Education Day. And then in the coming weeks, she will be interviewing candidates for the graduate student advocate position. Vice President Wen will complete her final 3 Freshman Leadership Council interviews this week and is preparing for the RSO Summit tomorrow, which will include a listening session with Speaker Fawn and Director Kahn. And then she also gave her message from the Finance Commission. Treasurer Bum will meet with 3 student organizations this week and will meet with 2 individuals next week. He's also catching up on emails from fall break and addressing appropriations violations. I've been finalizing documents for the executive branch and assisting with cabinet operations. Director Arns continues to develop community garden legislation with Speaker Fawn and recently completed the legislative branch newsletter update. Director John has completed headshots and will schedule additional sessions for new senators. She is now updating the SJ website with these headshots, is designing introduction posts, and creating graphics for upcoming events. Director Garcia has 3 upcoming events, his Cider and Connections, Boba and Ballots, and Pumpkins and Leadership. Director Raju is organizing Social Safety Week. That will be October 27th through October 30th. She's going to have alcohol, sexual health, and substance use awareness with also a little flu vaccine clinic. Director Kahn completed RSO outreach and received responses from 5 organizations. Meetings are scheduled next week with multiple RSOs. He's also coordinating Canva training with Director John and is preparing event management training as well. Director Safdar is preparing Interfest marketing materials and will begin outreach to RSOs and campus leadership. Director Murphy confirmed the SJ pregame tailgate for November 4th. Director Guthrie will present at a workshop tomorrow and continues organizing his soft skills workshop. And then last but not least, undergraduate Student Advocate Island is currently managing 7 active cases, 3 academic appeals, 1 academic suspension, 1 harassment concern, and then 2 parking appeals. And I will stand for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief of Staff Fritz? Seeing none, thank you. We will now go into 7.2, Report from the Speaker of the Student Senate. So good evening, everyone. I hope you had a very restful fall break. I have a couple updates for you all for today. I would like to give a special congratulations to all the senators that were sworn in today. With all the senators being sworn in today, we have sworn in all of our new senators, but also onboarded all of our new senators as well. For our new senators and for senators that were curious on what the onboarding presentation looked like, it is located within our SJ Teams channel for the legislative branch under onboarding materials files. Additionally, For our new senators, I will be reaching out to you soon to schedule one-on-one meetings within the next few days, and I will also add you all to the different Senate committee group meets and update the calendar invites as we go along. As Chief of Staff Fritz mentioned in her report, Director Khan and I, in addition to Vice President Nguyen, will be hosting a listening session at the RSO Summit, where we will give a brief presentation to the different RSOs about the different resources that we have as a Student Government Association, but also be listening to different concerns that different student organizations may have at that time. For the events that Chief of Staff Fritz mentioned regarding the signer event, in addition to the athletics event, I will be sending out calendar invites and emails regarding those events. Those events will be mandatory for senators to attend, but if you have classes, I will excuse you for those circumstances. Additionally, last Friday, Chairperson Ping, Chairperson Tawana, in addition to Chief Justice Hernandez, Vice President Nguyen, and President Wang, and I went to the ISU elections that was hosted right here in RSC 233, where we saw the elections, saw their process, and they completed their election cycle as well. From our end, there was a decent turnout with the students that attended, and I was happy to see that the bylaws were followed within the elections for last Friday. Additionally, for today's agenda, we have 3 pieces of legislation, 2 first reads and 1 second read. For our second read, it is our amendments to standing Senate committees. For our Senate, I have a few amendments that I would like to make for tonight, so you will hear those. Additionally, for our first reads, we will have 1 piece of legislation changing the name of the Chakra Support Locker, in addition to another first read for committee that came from the Government Oversight Committee regarding the freshman senator definition as well. Finally, for this week, I am in the process of catching up with emails and communication, so by the end of this week, you should hear back from me. If you didn't hear back from me by Friday at 5:00 p.m., please shoot me a message or an email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But that is my report for tonight. Are there any questions for me? Okay, seeing none, we will now go into 7.3, report from the Senate chairpersons, and we will go to the report from Academic Affairs Chairperson Kasir Safar.
Good evening, everyone. So the Academic Affairs Committee has been working on several important projects. Our main focus right now is the plus or minus grading system, where we are preparing the legislation to add the A+ grade to the Wichita State University's grading scale. Each senator has a specific task, such as writing the resolution, collecting student opinions through a survey, and helping with outreach to the faculty senate. We want to make sure the proposal is realistic and has a strong student support. We are also reviewing student academic advising gaps and concerns across colleges, where students have shared concerns about communication, scheduling, and advisor availability. Overall, our goal is to improve both academic policies and student experiences at Wichita State Universities. I now stand for questions.
Are there any questions for Chairperson Kasir Safar? Senator Farwell?
Do you have an idea what would constitute as an A+?
So right now we are working to gather a survey to ask students how they feel by adding an A+ to the plus or minus system. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I had more of a question of like what score range, like 90 something to 100.
Are you asking about the GPA, right? Or the courses in like the grading for each course? Okay. I do not know that answers yet. We are just still gathering information from Kansas Board of Regents and other universities, and then also I will get back to you as soon as I have that answer.
And then just to clarify, for questions, if you have follow-up questions, just raise your hand again. Are there any further questions for Chairperson Kasir Safar? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We will now go to the report from Diversity, Empowerment, Inclusion Chairperson Pang.
Hi everyone, I hope your fall break treated you well this past weekend. For agency reports, ASE has its first tri-school collab in Lawrence this weekend with KU and K-State's ASUs. For those who do not know, ASU is the Asian American Student Union, while ours is called the Asian Student Conference, where members, So I'll be looking forward to attending that with my big. Halo had a collab today with PSA where members can come and learn 2 new languages. They also added 2 new exec members to their team, so I'm excited to meet them. With BSU, if you are a member of the agency, you can get a free ticket to Fields of Screams for this Friday. Spectrum is looking for people to help them table on Thursdays from 11 to 1. So if you'd like more information about that, please let me know. With ISU, as Speaker Fawn has said, I was in attendance of the election last Friday. Congratulations to the students who got elected to the executive board. I look forward to working with the president and the agency itself to see what goals they have for this semester. For committee updates, we have done an introduction of what DEI is, as well as a little icebreaker to get to know our new senators better. I'm excited to see what these new senators have to bring to our committee. And I am happy to say that Senator Miller's resolution has passed unanimously in committee tonight, so please be prepared to see that in the Senate floor next week, but that is all I have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chairperson Pang? Seeing none, thank you. We will now go to the report from Government Oversight Chairperson Tawana.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a good fall break. Regarding agency updates, I met with the Graduate Student Council to work on the bylaws updates. We made some progress and we'll probably meet again on Friday, this Friday. I haven't decided on a time yet, but I'll update with that as well. Other than that, as Speaker Vaughan already mentioned, I went to the ISU elections and congratulations to all to the new candidates. Other than that, for Shocker Votes Coalition, they had their meet the Sedgwick County candidates this week, earlier today in RSC from 11 to 1. I stopped by and that was a good event as well. And other than that, as a committee, we had introductions with the new senators. It went well, and we are currently working on a new legislation regarding the ISO fundings for Tier 3 organizations, how to look forward into that if they don't utilize the full funds, especially if a Tier 3 organization isn't going to a conference, how can that impact their tier status going into the next academic year? So we're initial stages of that legislation, so we'll update you as things make progress. I'll stand in for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chairperson Tawana? Seeing none, thank you. We will go to the report to Student Services Chairperson Hansen.
Hi everyone. My report is relatively short given the break. I have scheduled the introductory meeting with the president of the First Generation Student Organization, and I've reached out to the new president for the Graduate Student Council for the same reason. We're also in the process of scheduling the next Accessibility and Disability Pride Task Force meeting later this month, so I look forward to updating you on all of those. Additionally, the Student Services Committee did have a joint meeting with Academic Affairs to discuss campus and services web pages.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chairperson Hansen? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into 7.4, report from the central office.
Hello. Okay. So the following organizations have been recognized as on October 3rd and the 15th. So the first organization is Hispanics in Healthcare. Hispanics in Healthcare is not simply an organization, but a movement dedicated to empowering the next generation of Hispanic healthcare professionals. And then the second organization that is recognized is Water Environment Federation Student Chapter. They are the professional organization based at universities for students with an interest in the environment or the water sector. Members are provided with resources to collaborate with industry professionals.
Are there any questions for Advisor Nolan? Yes, Senator Mallard?
Do you know the total number of orgs, RSOs we have?
No, I can get back to you.
Are there any further questions for Advisor Nolan? Seeing none, thank you. We will now go into Section 8, the consent agenda. There is none. We will now go into Section 9, pending business. And before we go into 9.1, I will hand over the chair to Vice President Nguyen.
The clerk may read.
Act on request to approve SB-68-117, amendments to the standing committees of the Senate.
Is the author here in which to speak? You have the floor.
Okay, so for this legislation, within committee, no changes were made with any amendments for changing the standing committees of the Student Senate. When we go into the debate period, I have a couple amendments that I would make in regards to removing the under the Diversity, Empowerment, Inclusion Committee, removing mentions of the President's Diversity Council, as President's Diversity Council does not exist anymore and has not met for quite a while. Additionally, I shifted the definition, the language from underrepresented to underserved to match our current SJ bylaws definitions that we have within the Diversity, Empowerment, Inclusion Committee as well. So if you wish to view the amendments that I will make a motion on later, that document is within the teams as well. But I will stand for any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, we'll move into the debate period. Would anyone like to speak in debate? Speaker Fawn.
I move to amend this legislation to adopt the document titled Edits and then the title of the legislation in the agenda.
Is there a second? Second by Senator Mallard. Would you like to speak on this motion?
Yes, so what I was discussing a little bit earlier, the President's Diversity Council does not exist anymore, and then shifting the definition from underrepresented to underserved better matches our current SJ bylaws definition, as well as we shifted the definition, the seat name from underrepresented senator to underserved senator now.
We will now move into the voting period. Oh, does anyone wish to speak? Okay. Seeing none, we'll now move into the voting period.
Once I call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain. Senator Luna?
Mr.
Yes.
Clerk, before you start, to be clear, we're voting on the amendments first, and then you'll vote on the bill after that.
Once again, Senator Luna?
Yes.
Senator Parker?
Yes.
Senator Fawn?
Yes.
Senator Otten?
Yes.
Senator Beam?
Yes.
Senator Tijuana?
Yes.
Senator Souls?
Yes.
Senator Lay?
Yes.
Senator Martinez?
Yes.
Senator Peng?
Yes.
Senator Argumedo?
Yes.
Senator Hinojosa?
Yes.
Senator Thibodeau?
Yes.
Senator Mallard?
Yes.
Senator Brown?
Yes.
Senator Kasirosafar,
Yes.
Senator Miller,
Yes.
Senator McCarroll,
Yes.
Senator Hansen,
Yes.
Senator Timms,
Yes.
Senator Beatty,
Yes.
Senator Arteaga,
Yes.
Senator Boyd,
Yes.
Senator Haynes,
Yes.
Senator Mungaravani,
Yes.
Senator Marston,
Yes.
Senator Lewis,
Yes.
and Senator Farwell.
Yes.
I have a total of 29 votes. This amendment passes.
We will now move back into the debate period for the original legislation. Would anyone like to wish to speak in debate? Senator Beam,
Motion to pass by unanimous consent?
are there any objections? Seeing none, the legislation is adopted as such. And now hand the chair back over to Speaker Fawn.
Thank you. We will now move into section 10, new business, and we'll now move into 10.1. The clerk may read.
Act on request to approve SB-68-119, an act to amend the freshman senator eligibility clause.
Is the author here and ready to speak? You have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Act to amend the freshman senator eligibility clause. We came up with this amendment in the SCA bylaws because during the midterm elections, we saw a bunch of students come up to us and asking were they eligible to be contested for freshman position because someone were transferring from other schools and colleges, someone were even in grad school and they were technically still a freshman. At Wichita State, that's why we thought maybe it's better to amend the SCA bylaws to clarify this definition. And what we are changing mainly is in Article 2, Section E. Section E, from freshman year, 2 seats shall be reserved for association members entering their, it was initially freshman year, but we have added it to first year of undergrad education at Wichita State, regardless of prior transfer or dual enrollment credits. Students serving as this seat shall be known as freshman centers. So basically, if you're enrolled in another as well, or you accumulated a bunch of credit hours as a high school, you can still be considered as a freshman because technically it's your first year in higher education. So that's pretty much the main amendment we're aiming for with this legislation. Do we have any questions regarding that?
Are there any questions for Chairperson Tawana? We'll go to Senator Haynes.
Yeah, just had a question about what so it says regardless of prior transfer or dual enrollment credits. So then would that just mean like this is their first year at Wichita State, as in like?
As in higher education, yeah.
So per this language, that could read as in like, I transfer from KU to Wichita State my first year. At Wichita State, I can be a freshman senator.
What we is first year in higher education, first year of undergrad education. So if you're transferring from KU, you already had your.
But it says at Wichita State, so first year at Wichita State. So does that mean that a transfer student in their first year of undergrad at Wichita State, does that mean that they could be a freshman senator?
Transferring from KU, for example?
Yes.
No. No, that would not be considered as a freshman senator because with this, it means like which the admissions counts you as your first year in undergrad situation when you're coming into Wichita State.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So like you can have high school credit hours which you're transferring into, but you're considered as a sophomore, but it's your first year at Wichita State. So yeah.
Are there any further questions for Chairperson Tawana? Senator Mallard?
Yeah, so when you apply to be a senator, you know, it gives you all the options that you automatically apply for.
Yeah.
With this, would we have to change anything in the system that would say, even though you transferred, or you have your credits that, you have your credits and you're technically a sophomore,
Yep.
would we have to put in the system that now says it's their first year, for us, they're a freshman, or would it automatically do that?
That's a great question. And thinking about applying the language, I would probably recommend some different language just to clarify. But in the past, the Election Commission has actually denied candidates who have more than 30 credit hours because that's what we classify as a freshman, even though this is their first time in college. And so, Ian, that would deny them from holding the freshman seat in the commission. That would prevent them from sitting anywhere that carried the title freshman with it. I would recommend when you get into the debating part, maybe addressing the language to say first time in college and not necessarily at Wichita State, because that would then address some of I think what Senator Haynes was getting to, but then also that is the list we would pull from the registrar's office would be any student who is considered what they say FITC would pull anyone regardless of how many credit hours you came to the university with. If this is your first time at a four-year institution, or not even 4 years, if it's your first time in college in general, then you would show up on that list and be eligible for this seat. So I think when you get to that part in the formal debate next week, I would probably recommend just cleaning that up so that we can apply it effectively in that manner. But I think that would address both Senator Haynes' question and then I think your question as well of how we would apply the language would be anyone who would consider a first time in college student, regardless if they have the credit hours to be a sophomore.
Are there any further questions for Chairperson Tawana? Seeing none, thank you. This legislation, since it came from committee, it'll skip the committee read, so it'll go before the Senate for a second read next week. We will now go to section 10. We'll now move into 10.2.
Act on request to approve SB-68-120, an act to rename the Shocker Support Locker.
Is the author here and ready to speak? You have the floor.
Good evening, all, again. 10 sessions ago, the Student Government Association founded the Shocker Support Locker on November 4th, 2015. Since its opening on February 1st, 2016, the Shocker Support Locker has served thousands of students, faculty, and staff facing food insecurity and financial instability. The Shocker Support Locker started as a small room in the Heskett Center. However, it has now become a program centered in the heart of campus in the Shocker Success Center, carrying items such as fresh food, clothing items, baby items, household items, career clothing, and the community garden, as well as the Student Hardship Fund. This project was started by the 58th Session's Chief of Staff, the late Kia Duggins, who had a passion to serve her peers and community on an equitable standard, to alleviate the strain of unmet physical needs. She attended Wichita State University from 2013 to 2017 as a Clay Barton Scholar before attending Harvard Law School. During her time at Wichita State, Kia Duggins interned at the White House through former First Lady Michelle Obama's Let Girls Learn initiative, as well as co-founded the Shocker Support Locker and the Wichita State Inspire Outreach Initiative. She went on to become a law professor at Howard University in D.C. Earlier this year, on January 29, 2025, tragedy struck when American Airlines 5342, en route to Washington, D.C., collided with a Black Hawk helicopter with Kia Duggins on board. Last session, during the Howard Fawn administration, SGA requested the university to rename the Shocker Support Locker. On October 8th, this request was granted and announced at the 2025 Heritage Gala. In honor of the late Kia Duggins, her work and continued legacy, we are presenting to the Senate a bill that would match this action permanently in our governing documents and proudly amend the entirety of Article 8 for the Shocker Support Locker to be formally named the Kia Duggins Shocker Support Locker. We received news this morning that the university has graciously offered to fund this renaming in support, so we will be striking that language later. In honor of the late Kia Duggins, I ask that you all join me in a moment of silence to remember Kia. At this time, I would like to introduce and welcome Emeritus Status Student Body President from the 57th and 58th session, Mr. Joseph Shepard.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's exciting to be here again, and all the feelings come back sitting in that back room. The Senate certainly looks much more diverse, which is something that makes me very happy. And it's something that Kia, as the Chief of Staff, would have been very happy about as well. My name is Joseph Shepard. I've had the honor and the privilege to serve Wichita State University in the capacity as Student Body President. And my time as Student Body President changed the trajectory of my entire life. But in large part because I had the opportunity to serve alongside Kia, who was my original right-hand woman. Much of the success that happened during the 57th and 58th session of Student Government Association happened because Kia, a Black woman who was committed to justice, civil rights, equity, and inclusion, and in seeing the value in what she would say all God's children. And so I think it's really important that we honor the Shocker Food Locker after Kia, not only because of the work that she's done, but because how often so many people walk this campus and they pour in their hearts and their work into this campus, but they're not recognized at the capacity in which people can remember years or decades from now. And so it makes me very happy that for the rest of the institution standing, that Kia Duggins will be remembered. And so I leave you with this. I hope that you give people their flowers while they are living. Kia deserved her flowers while she was living. And while I'm extremely grateful to Madam Vice President and President Wang for this honor and Wichita State University, I think the charge and the challenge should always be to recognize the dignity and humanity in every individual and the work that every individual does while they are living, to make sure that we put our biases aside and work together for the common good. It was mentioned that Kia went on to Harvard Law, but as we share Kia's story, her mom especially is fighting to keep her legacy alive, and I am going to do my very best to help keep that legacy alive and making sure that her story is shared accurately. Kia was a staunch advocate for justice. She ruffled some feathers. She said what needed to be said. She engaged with people who maybe didn't agree with her, but she always held true to her values. And something that Kia said, two things that I want to leave you with tonight that resonate with me as I'm in the journey of my life, is that your presence should solve a problem. The opportunity to serve here is not a resume booster. It's an opportunity to represent your constituents and solve a problem. I hope you take that commitment seriously. But the last thing I'll say is Kia had the opportunity to be published in the Vanderbilt Law Journal. And Kia, again, was an advocate for justice and inclusion and a light that wanted to make sure we recognize the inherent worth in every individual. And she said, "We cannot change material realities through skillful litigation alone. We must lend legal skills to organize for socioeconomic change." What did Kia mean? She meant that getting a degree from Wichita State University means nothing if you don't use your education, your expertise, and the resources that you've been given through the four walls of this institution to help uplift other people who may not be as privileged to sit where you sit. So I ask that you remember her, not just in naming of the Shocker Food Locker, but remember Kia in your everyday actions. And I hope that you show up for somebody else thinking, what can I do to make their life and their journey easier? What can I do to solve a problem? What can I do to plant a seed to grow a tree in which I may never be able to enjoy the shade of? But my life can be better because somebody else can. Thank you all so much, and thank you for your service to Wichita State University.
I will now stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for President Wang? Seeing none, thank you. We will now enter the debate period for this item. Are there any individuals who wish to speak in debate at this time? Vice President Wynn?
I ask for unanimous consent to strike line 53 and 54.
Are there any objections to this motion?
So,
Senator
how are we going to pay for the rebranding?
Senator Lee, do you have an objection?
If we remove the 3,000, how are we going to exactly do the rebranding then?
Senator Lee, do you have an objection to this motion? Are there any objections to this motion? Okay, seeing none is adopted as such. We will now go into the debate period for the legislation itself. So are there any senators that wish to speak in debate at this time? Senator Maurer.
Motion approved by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none is adopted as such. We will now move into Section 11, adjournment. The Student Government Association Student Senate will stay on adjournment until Wednesday, October 22nd at 7:30 p.m. I adjourn this meeting at 8:16 p.m.